Hello there, I'm Simon and welcome to Fiction Inside Out. Today we are talking about Netflix Witcher series and the recently released titles of all episodes. We will speculate what book short stories are they going to draw inspiration from and what will happen or what might happen in each of the episodes. So, small warning here, there might be some minor spoilers in this video. For those of you who already had the pleasure to read the books, you will know everything already, but everybody else, no worries. We will talk about the background story of each of the episodes, but not exactly what will happen in them. So don't worry about spoilers. Episode 1. The End's Beginning. The graphics of this episode show a silver sun on a black background. However, if you look close enough, on the left-hand side there is a small sun with long black rays. We know already from the trailers that the first episode will be based on the Lesser Evil short story, where Witcher Geralt meets Renfri, and how the meeting ends, you will have to see for yourself. The Black Sun in the graphics is probably referring to the Curse of the Black Sun, a prophecy made by one of the mages who was foretelling that the end of human civilization will come from a few girls born after or during the solar eclipse. Hence the Black Sun curse. Renfri was one of those girls born after or during the solar eclipse, and those regarded as very dangerous, or by some even as a monster. However, the silver sun from the graphics may represent something very, very different, and that might be the rise of Nilfgaardian Empire. The silver sun is a symbol of Nilfgaard Empire, and for those who don't know the lore of Witcher books, Nilfgaard is a big expansionistic empire from the south of the continent, which in the Witcher saga is a constant threat to the northern kingdoms where the main story takes place. Based on that, I expect some major Nilfgaardian invasion on Sintra and establishing the characters of Calanthe and Ciri. In the photos, we can see Ciri escaping the capital, probably during the fall of Sintra. Okay, now episode 2, 4 marks. The title is quite interesting and I can't make much out of it. It might refer to the national currency of Kingdom of Edirne, which is an Edirne mark. And that would make sense because in this episode we are introduced to the character of Yennefer from Vengerberg, who is coming from Edirne. However, I am not sure what that title could actually mean. The graphics of this episode show us the symbol of Yen, which is her star-shaped necklace. We will probably see the beginnings of Yennefer in the magic school of Aretuza, and her transformation from the hunchback to the beautiful sorceress. Moreover, we will also revisit Geralt of Rivia in one of his adventures, this time based on the short story The Edge of the World, where we will be introduced to the character of Jaskier, or Dandelion, the famous poet and troubadour. So expect some comic relief and tons of jokes. Go Team Jaskier! The released photos from this episode show us not only Geralt and Jaskier, but also Princess Cyrilla, who escaped the sieged capital and is already in a refugee camp. Episode 3, Betrayer Moon. From this title I wouldn't also guess too much. Luckily, the graphics tell us a lot. There is this Temerian lily symbol that fits in nicely in the clawed hand shot on the graphics. So, to make story short, we will see Geralt trying to undo the curse of a Temerian princess, which was turned into a Striga, a very powerful and dangerous monster feeding on humans. In the photo, we can see Geralt going through the corridors of the old Temerian castle, which was abandoned, where the Princess Striga first appeared and started killing people. And I'm very excited to see this episode because it's based on one of my favorite short stories called The Witcher. Episode 4 of Banquets, Bastards and Burials. After reading this title, only one thing comes to my mind, and this is the short story, A Question of Price. In this episode, we will see a backstory of a relationship between Geralt and Ciri. We will also learn more about Queen Calanthe from Sintra, who, in attempt to beat the destiny, will invite Geralt to her court and try to stop the unstoppable. That will be a retrospective episode where Geralt is unwillingly dragged into the politics schemes and tries to fight with destiny and the law of surprise. The reward will change his life forever. Additionally, the graphics of this episode show the broken sword, which might refer to the Sword of Destiny, and those of you who read the book will know exactly what I'm talking about. In the pictures, we can also see Ciri wandering through the desert, and as far as I'm concerned, there are no deserts in the Northern Kingdoms, so that must be just one of her visions. Episode 5, Bottled Appetites. And that is pretty simple. In the graphics we can see two people fighting over a bottle. That is the episode when we will finally see the meeting of Geralt and Yennefer. It is based on a short story Last Wish. The story starts with Geralt and Jaskier going on a fishing, but instead of a fish they catch only a bottle with a very mysterious seal on it. From then on everything goes wrong, and we can see that fairy tales are not always right, and not all genies are so nice as Robin Williams in Aladdin. They sometimes won't fulfill your 3 wishes and simply disappear. Sometimes they will grab you by your throat and choke you so hard that you will vomit blood. And that's not a spoiler. Episode 6, Rare Species. I am so glad to see this one here. I was so afraid they won't include this short story in the series. That's by far my favorite one. In the graphics we can see a dragon, so I guess that's self-explanatory. This episode is based on the short story The Bounds of Reason, where we will meet Geralt and Yen again, and we will follow them in their hunt for a dragon. Why are they hunting the dragon, and what does it have to do with Yen's maternity? You will have to see for yourself in episode 6. I really have high hopes for this episode, especially the great humor between Geralt and the knight Borg 3 Jackdaws, who is by far my favorite secondary character in the books. Episode 7, Before a Fall. The graphics of this episode show us the symbol of Standing Lion on fire. The symbol of Standing Lion is an emblem of the Kingdom of Sintra, so we might expect that we will revisit the Kingdom of Sintra before the fall. And I can't tell much more about this episode. There are no more photos or any additional information to tell you about. And the last episode, episode 8, titled Much More. The graphics show us the 3 symbols of our 3 main characters. That is the swallow of Ciri, the star of Yennefer, and the wolf's head of Geralt. We can be almost certain that in this episode the 3 characters will finally come together. It is based on a short story, Something More, in which Geralt is seriously wounded after a fight with multiple monsters, I guess that were ghouls, and is having delusions. In the books that give us an opportunity for a retrospective storytelling, where we revisit the Kingdom of Sintra as the law of surprise demands from Geralt. And that will be it. As a side note, I am not sure where to place the scenes where Ciri is wandering through the Brocelion forest and meeting Dryadas. That could be both the last episode or one of the previous episodes. I am not sure. Let me know what do you think about it. That's it for today. Let me know what do you think about the graphics and the titles in the comments below. Thanks for watching and see you next time.